إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير هادي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار ثم أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, as you and I came here to Jumu'ah, as we rode through the streets and as we left the masjid last night and any other day that we're in the street or any day that we're in our homes or any day that we're at work, what we see in front of us is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done. That the whole environment, min ayatihi. Everywhere we look, we see the signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has left. And He has left them as an environment that is functional. He has left us in a functional environment. And He has not left us in a dysfunctional environment. قال سبحانه وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد كرمنا بني آدم وحملناهم في البر والبحر ورزقناهم من الطيبات وفضلناهم على كثير ممن خلقنا تفضيلا. And indeed we have honored the children of Adam and we have carried them on land and sea and we have provided them with lawful good things and have preferred them, meaning the children of Adam have preferred the children of Adam. The children of Adam preferred over many of those things who we have created with a marked preference. Bani Adam is not like everything else. Bani Adam's reward is different than everything else. Bani Adam's responsibility on earth is different. It is not for you and I to detract or distract from what Bani Adam is supposed to be, especially if we're going to distract and call it Islam. Because on the earth today, the best of Bani Adam is supposed to be the Muslim. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. You are the best ummah that Allah brought out from the people for the people. تأمرون بالمعروف. Everything that's ma'ruf, everything that a person who's reasonable understands to be good and pure, this ummah abides by it. وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. Everything that every reasonable person knows is evil, and he knows it's illegal, and he knows it's threatening, and he knows it's harmful to humans and the environment, and he knows it's bad for human relationships, and he knows what the truth is, and he knows what a lie is. He does not lie to himself. He does not lie to his brother. Al-Muslim akhu Muslim. Because the Muslim is the brother to the Muslim. And the Muslim doesn't lie to the Muslim because he knows that to lie to his brother is to pick up the actions of his brother's enemy and not his brother. Shaitan lied to Adam and Hawa, and he made up all kinds of fanciful excuses. Eat the tree. It's the tree of life. Eat the tree. The reason Allah doesn't want you to eat the tree is because if you eat the tree, you'll be like an angel. He don't want you to eat the tree because if you eat the tree, you will live forever. So eat the tree. And a nasihun. I'm somebody who's giving you nasiha. I'm telling you right now, eat the tree, even if your Lord said don't eat. Allah has honored the children of Adam with every type of goodness. He's honored them with knowledge, intelligence. He has honored them by sending prophets and messengers. He's honored them by sending down the scriptures. And he's raised among them the righteous who are near to Allah. And he has blessed them with favors that are apparent and favors that are unseen by them. Some unseen by them in this earth, and then more favors they will get in the hereafter. And this is for Bani Adam. This is not for the squirrel. Even though the squirrel has enough sense to be a squirrel in the burb and be a squirrel in the hood, he's still a squirrel. Even though the squirrel has enough sense to do the same job equally well in the hood and in the burb, he's the same squirrel. He knows what to do. He knows what to do with his time. He knows what to do in every season. That's a squirrel. So what about a man? Allah has carried the children of Adam across the land, sea, and now the air. And he has preferred them in numerous ways that are superior to other creatures. قال تعالى الله الذي جعل لكم من الأرض قرارا والسماء بناء وصوركم فأحسن صوركم ورزقكم من الطيبات ذلكم الله ربكم فتبارك الله رب العالمين. Allah, it is He who has made for you the earth as a dwelling place and the sky as a canopy, and has given you your shape and made your shapes good looking and has provided you with good things. That is Allah. That is Allah, your Lord. So blessed be Allah, Lord of the worlds. Worlds meaning human beings and jinns and everything that exists. وقال تعالى ألم تروا أن الله سخر لكم ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وأسبغ عليكم نعمه ظاهرة وباطنة. Do you men not see that Allah has subjected, meaning He has made everything bow down to you? That He has made that sun come up in the daytime so that you can carry out your business? That Allah made that sun do what it does for you, and He made that moon do what it does for you, and He made that water fall from down to up, from up to down for you, and He placed all the minerals in the earth for you, and He gave you your energy and your eyes and your ears and did that for you, and then made you in a shape that when you look in the mirror you don't find it repulsive, and He made your spouses beautiful also, so when you look at them you don't find them repulsive. Do you not see that every single thing of good you ever got is from your Lord? How will you and I serve on earth in the face of accusation that we are dishonest? How will you and I serve on the earth today, post 9/11, with the accusations that you and I lie, that we steal, that we're marauders, and that not just us, but everybody in our whole ummah is like that, men, women, and children? How will you and I serve men? And we're going to talk about men. I don't care how much you cry that I should talk about the women. We haven't got time for that. I want to talk to you men. Me and you. And the brother's going to talk. And for once, we're going to leave the sisters out of it. You and me, we're going to talk. Because we need to talk. And when you was in prison, you wasn't crying about no sisters. Because there wasn't no sisters. It was you and the brothers. Y'all was talking. So let's talk. And let's not cry about, well, you know, something was said the other day in the khutbah, and it came down kind of hard and gave the sisters ammunition. It only is ammunition if it's true. And it's not ammunition if it ain't true. Wallahu musta'an. Allah is reminding me and reminding us and turning our attention toward the great favors to us as humans. And He is calling us to thank Him for this many favors. And He is telling us not to forget them. Don't forget what your eyes can see. Don't forget or become negligent about what your heart knows is true. That the dunya holds favors for us and the deen holds many favors for us. And we have to work with the dunya and the deen together and not just try to work with the dunya, the deen without the dunya, as though that's possible. Or the dunya without the deen, as though that's possible. Because some of us still living back in the day when certain societies used to tell people that they could get wealth without work. They had them dream the impossible dream, that they would get something for nothing. And so you have people who are raised in the something for nothing background. I'm going to get something, but I'm not going to do nothing for it. And you had them weaving stories, all behind getting something for nothing, and lying, all behind getting something for nothing, and trying to convince you and me that this is an isolated incident with this person only. Check the background. You'll find these kind of people do this again and again and again and again and again and again. They was raised in, bred in the something for nothing way of life, something which is impossible to achieve. And welfare in Section 8 is not going to change that. And disability doesn't change that. If you're going to get something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ja'alna amilin alayh, that you and I have to strive and work. Men especially. Men especially. Men first. And in most cases, men only. وَلَيْسَ لِأُمَّ أَيٍّ نَصِيبٍ فِي هَذَا. And mothers and daughters have no part of this. It's supposed to be the men and the men only. That's the deen of Islam. يُرِيدُ أَنْ يَقُومَ بِالرِّجَالِ قَوِيًّا أَمِينًا. Because Islam wants its men to be strong and trustworthy. Because Islam wants its men to be faithful and strong and trustworthy. Because Islam wants its men to be builders. Any fool can strip a car. Who can build one? You see? You see? All backward. Everybody can strip one. Who can build one? The builder takes time. And the builder takes an education. And that builder, he takes focus. And that builder only uses the time for learning how to build. And he doesn't play like he don't give something the time and he don't give it time. He doesn't play. A builder doesn't play. A builder is not a player. A builder is not a player. Only a player is a player. And only work is work. And there's no substitute for work. Only work is work. And only work will work. Working is working. And playing is playing. And it's just like that grasshopper and that ant. That grasshopper sat around all summer long and watched that ant work. And then when the wintertime came, when the ant had himself all stored up, and that ant warned that grasshopper, if you don't get busy, if you don't get yourself in gear, the snow gonna catch you. You ain't gonna have nothing. Grasshopper said, I'm cool. Ain't nothing happening here. You go ahead and work, fool, because you know what? I'm gonna get something for nothing. It's a famous fable. It's famous. And what happened when that winter time came? The ant was snug, and his people were snug, and he was down in that burrow, and he had all supplies. And with that grasshopper was knocking at the door. You know something, man? I need something. I know what you told me. You know, I ain't hear you. I need something. But guess what? The ant was generous. And the ant gave that grasshopper something, even though he sat on his 6 legs and wouldn't work. And watched that ant work. You see, we got grasshoppers, some of us. Some of us just plain old grasshoppers. We sit around and we make chirping noises. Chirp, 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 and blab, 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 and gag, 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 and talk, talk, talk. We're not working. Some people, you don't know no work from them. They have never worked in their whole lives. Just talk, 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 and gab, 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 like a doggone grasshopper, watching the ants. And as soon as he knows the ants are started up, he come knocking on the door. You know, I need something, y'all. You know, if you don't give it to me, I'm just going to die out here in the snow. Well, it's time for the ants to get busy. And that grasshopper better get himself busy too. He's going to find out it might be the winter of discontent next time he pulls one of those. It's absolutely necessary in a functional environment that was placed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a function that we function as men properly. See, it puts you out of place even in the heavens and earth. When everything functions the way it's supposed to function, and you and I don't function. As a matter of fact, some of us have the nerve to tell people, after we get old, well, I don't know how to function really. I don't really know how to function really. How long you been here? I've been here about 50 years. I don't know how to function really. You see, that's a game too. That's a game too. Somebody tell you after he's old, he can't function yet. What's the problem? You can't function. He tell you at 40 years old, he ain't functioning yet. What's the matter with him? He can't function. He never sat with nobody in a free environment, in a functional environment to learn how to function. What's up? And tell me and you, he knows the words of functioning. He knows how function works. Cave. But see, some people used to be addicts. Let's just take an example. Some people used to use drugs. And an addict, everybody knows an addict. He can tell a story so incredible, man, and make you want to grab the food and put it on the table. That's an addict. His story is incredible. He knows how to make incredible stories. He knows how to weave a story. Some people stopped using drugs, but kept the old technique of weaving a story. So incredible, it makes you want to go out and grab the food and put it on the table. I'd like to help a man when he's down, but I can't help him if he's somewhere out of town. It's absolutely necessary to be functional in a functional environment. Why? Men. Why, men? Why? Because your book says, الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم. Men are the protectors and maintainers of women because Allah has made one of them to excel the other and because they spend to support them from their means. Having the means to support a family is directly connected to working to earn a living. Working and earning a living is a domain of men. Working and earning is a man's domain. Working and earning for one's family is a trust bestowed upon men in this functional environment. قال تعالى إن الله يأمركم أن تؤدوا الأمانات إلى أهلها وإذا حكمتم بين الناس أن تحكموا بالعدل. Verily Allah commands that you should render back the trust to those to whom they are due and that you judge between men with justice. You see, the working environment is a trust, ibadallah. It's an amana. It's a trust. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said that the first thing to leave his ummah was the amana, and the last thing to leave it was a salah. So working, ibadallah, is an amana. It's a trust. Working and earning is a trust between the employer and the employee. Now, who's the trust between? If you work for someone, you have a trust between you and them. If the employee carries out his duties with honor and integrity, he has fulfilled his responsibility and therefore deserves a reward in this life and in the hereafter. Therefore, texts from the Quran and the Sunnah show us that deeds performed by us should always be accompanied by the expectation of a reward and that is being for Allah's face. So when you and I do a job, we get tired and we complain, but the expectation of a job well done is two expectations, ibadallah. One is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward it. But beside the pay, beside the salary, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward the job well done. And two, it is being done fi sabilillah. It's being done for Allah's face. Those are the expectations. قال تعالى لا خير في كثير من نجواهم إلا من أمر بصدقة أو معروف أو إصلاح بين الناس ومن يفعل ذلك ابتغاء مرضات الله فسوف نؤتيه أجرا عظيما. There is no good in most of their secret talks except in the one who orders sadaqah or of good of righteous deeds or conciliation between people. And he who does this, seeking the good pleasure of Allah, he will give him a great reward. So this verse talks about 3 deeds. It talks about ma'ruf, sadaqah, and islah bayn al-nas. So what it shows is that if you're trying to make conciliation between people, if you're telling people they should give sadaqah, or you're ordering something which is righteous between people, and you hope for the good of Allah, hope for Allah to reward you, then inshallah Allah will give the person a good reward. وعن أبي مسعود رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا أنفق الرجل على أهله يحتسبوها فهو له صدقة. The Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, if a man spends on his family seeking it from Allah, a reward from Allah, it counts as a sadaqah. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم لسعد بن أبي وقاص رضي الله عنه ولست تنفق تبتغي وجه الله إلا أجرت بها. And the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم said to Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas رضي الله عنه, you will not spend wealth seeking the face of Allah except that you will be rewarded for it, even if it is a morsel of food that is put into your wife's mouth. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi. After desiring the face of Allah while working, we must bear in mind that the time to do a job is the time to do that job. A person does not own the time for private affairs because he isn't getting paid for that. So, ya ibadallah, as men, when you and I work, and this is a habit, is that when we're working, we're supposed to be doing that job, not something else beside the job. We're supposed to work on the job. This is part of being aminan. It's part of the trust. Because the people who pay you, then you could say they own your time. They own your time. So therefore, when they're paying you, you're supposed to do that job. You're not supposed to do private affairs, sneak off from the job, catch a nap during the work time, and all those things that people like to do during the time when they're working. It's nothing to do with this deen. It's not the etiquette of the worker. Therefore, just as an employee wants to take his full salary, he must give his work its full attention. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has disdained the mutaffifin. Mutaffifin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala disdains them. Who are they? Those who deal in fraud. Those who cheat in measurement and weights. Those who themselves demand full measure of what they deserve. However, they cheat and are stingy about the rights of others. قال تعالى بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويل للمطففين الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون ألا يظن أولئك أنهم مبعوثون ليوم عظيم يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين. Woe to the mutaffifin, those who give less in measure and weight, those who when they have to receive by measure from people demand full measure. In other words, they want their full salary. They demand every single penny, whether they worked for it or not. And when they have to give by measure or weight to other people, they give less than due. So, but when it's their time to work, they don't give. They demand, but they don't give. They cheat. They demand, but they don't give. They make contracts like they're going to pay, but they don't pay. Ibadallah, you're not supposed to make a contract with someone you cannot pay. You're not supposed to tell somebody you're a businessman, you're not a businessman. And you people who are letting them do this, understand something. That this religion disdains those who waste money. Ida'atul mal, losing money. That would translate, the Prophet Muhammad said Allah hates for you 3 things, loves for you 3 things, and hates 3 things. Among the things he hates, ida'atul mal, the wastage of money. It's either you lost the money, or you spent the money foolishly, or you let someone else spend your time and money foolishly. Allah hates that in people. So when someone comes to you and try to give you some kind of deal, it is up to you, sahib al-mal, those who have money, who have worked for their money, to check that man out. Where you come from, I'll get back to you. I'm sorry, this is a time of fitna. This is not the time when you and I can just shake a hand and say that'll be okay because you're Muslim. Like a doctor who takes blood and won't wear gloves because the brother is a Muslim or the sister's a Muslim. He forgets that in his blood he could have hepatitis C or he could have HIV, but he don't wear gloves because the brother's a Muslim. This is not that kind of time, Abdullaah. Check him out. Make him give you a reference. And then when he gives you his reference, call his reference. And from that reference, get another reference and call that reference. And as soon as you find out bad words come back that the person doesn't pay, never did, then tell him, sorry, this won't work between you and me. Because you're not supposed to let someone set you up to lose your wealth. You're not supposed to do it. It's not part of the brotherhood. It's not part of the brotherhood to do that, ibadallah. So Allah disdains people who want all their rights for everything, but they have a history of not giving people their rights. And today, unfortunately, akhi, people hide this under Dawah Salafiyah. And they hide this under big beards, and they hide them in the long thobes, and they have some Arabic, and some of them are really glib in Arabic. This is the time of fitna. And fitna comes in smells. Sheikh Fawzan, Habibullah says it has a lot of different smells. It has different colors. It has different looks. It looks like different things. What you do is that you, in a functional environment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made for you and me, you treat everybody like they're supposed to function, and you find out whether they have a history of function or a history of dysfunction. And when you see dysfunction, salam alaikum. Another part of being a good worker is being strong and trustworthy. Saying a man, strong and trustworthy. Qawiyun, aminun. Those two. Strong so you can do the job you're required to do. Amin and trustworthy so that you can do the job in a manner that will free you from blame in front of Allah. Strong so you can do the job. Trustworthy so the job won't come back and hit you because you knew you couldn't do it when you said you was going to do it. That's a cause of punishment. No matter how slick somebody thinks he is in the dunya. See, the more slick moves you see, you know people have experience because they know they're experienced at being slick. When you see a slick move, that's based on experience. That's not just some old plain Joe. That's an experienced slick. Allah tells us about the words of one of the women of Midian when she described to her father how Musa attended her animals. She said, Ya abatistirhu, inna khayru man istajawta al-qawiyyun amin. She said, or one of them said to their father, oh my father, hire him, meaning hire Musa. Verily, the best of men for you to hire is the strong and the trustworthy. As in the book, Ibadullah. Strong, trustworthy. The Ifrit, the big jinn, who told Sulaiman he would get the throne of Bilqis for him. What did he say? He said, أنا أتيك به قبل أن تقوم من مقامك وإني عليه لقوي أمين. The big jinn told Sulaiman, alayhi salatu wasalam, the Ifrit, the strong one from the jinn said, I will bring it to you before you rise from your place, meaning before you rise from your council. And verily, I am indeed strong and trustworthy for that job. SubhanAllah. That's men. That's men. We don't describe, we say the sister's strong. We do that. That's a strong sister. Mostly what we mean is that she's a good mother and that she keeps the house clean and that she loves her Lord. And when you see her, when you can't find her, when you find her in obeying her Lord and you're better to her Lord. That's what a strong sister is. A strong sister is not somebody who can arm wrestle somebody and wrestle his arms down. That's not a strong sister. You and I don't want sisters who have been trained by weak men to invalidate the manhood of a man. All these things, the Section 8 and the welfare and the prison sentence, the big bit, all those things work to make my manhood and your manhood invalid. Now you have to make it valid. And the first thing you do to make it valid is to obey your Lord because he created you. And the second thing is to learn how to be trustworthy. Learn how to be honest. I'm not saying people don't know. I'm saying you and I can get better because we have community to support and community to build. And the weak and lazy man cannot do it. What does lazy mean, Abdullaah? Lazy means a person with the knowledge and the ability but doesn't have the desire. He is depressed and his heart is suppressed by something either in his own heart or his mind or drugs, or he let Shaitan take him back to a foul past and he keeps getting caught up in it and he cries about what he did before. La ibadallah. Tawbah cleans. Tawbah cleans the past. La kabira ma tawbah. Wa la saghira ma israr. There's no big one with Tawbah, no major sin with Tawbah. And there's no small sin if a man's going to continue to do it. You and I have work to do. Only work is work, Ibadullah. Don't make up stories. Get to work. Some people spend more time making up a story of why they can't do something than getting to work to do something. Measure yourself. Ask yourself which one are you. Whichever one it is, if it's the one that works, work harder. If it's the one that won't work, makes up stories, confuse himself, and Shaitan beautifies for him, get busy. You and I are brothers. We're not enemies. Waqim as-salah.